You know that feeling, right? You type a prompt into an AI, you cross your fingers, and you get something completely useless. We've all been there. It can feel like you're just rolling the dice. Well, today, we're going to move from guessing to engineering. This explainer is all about giving you the mental model you need to take control and start getting reliable, high-quality results from generative AI. So let's dive in.
So much of our frustration with AI comes down to one huge difference. Think about traditional software, like a calculator. It's deterministic. That just means it follows a fixed set of rules. You type in 2 plus 2, and you will always get 4. It's predictable. It's reliable. Generative AI, on the other hand, is non-deterministic. It works on probabilities, not strict rules. And that's exactly why the same prompt can give you a brilliant answer 1 minute, and then something completely bizarre the next. And sometimes that unpredictable roll of the dice can be a real problem. It can lead to something called a hallucination. This is when the AI has no idea what the answer is, but instead of just saying, "I don't know," it makes one up. It will invent facts, figures, even sources, and present them with all the confidence of an encyclopedia. And that is a huge reason why just guessing at prompts is not a winning strategy for any kind of professional work. We need a better way.
To get that control we're looking for, we really have to understand what's going on under the hood. So let's start by pulling back the curtain and debunking the single biggest myth about how these AI models actually work.
I mean, we see it writing poems and generating code, and it's so easy to imagine a little conscious mind at work in there. But if it's not actually thinking, then what on earth is it doing?
This right here, this is the most important mental shift you can possibly make. It's not a conscious being, it's not your creative partner, and it is definitely not thinking. It is a probability machine, a very, very sophisticated prediction engine. That's it.
So how does this probability machine actually work? Well, it's constantly asking one super simple question. Based on all the text I've seen so far, what is the most probable word to come next? As you can see here, after a certain phrase, the AI has calculated the odds for every possible next word, and it will almost always choose the most statistically likely one. This, by the way, is why AI outputs can sometimes feel kind of generic or boring. It's literally designed to give you the most average, predictable response.
And this is where things get really cool. This is where you come in. See, if the AI is just a probability machine, then your job is to change the math. You're not just a user typing words anymore. Your new job title is Probability Architect, and your entire goal is to craft prompts that make the specific, interesting, high-quality answer you want the most probable outcome.
Okay, so for architects of probability, how do we actually do it? What are our tools? Let's get into the practical framework, the how behind this whole idea. As an architect, you really have 3 core tools in your toolkit. First, you guide the AI. This means giving it super clear, detailed directions about the style, the tone, and the format you want. Second, you show, don't just tell. This is all about providing amazing examples of what a perfect output looks like. And third, you build an assembly line. This is key. Don't create one giant, complicated prompt. Break your task down into a series of small, focused steps.
Okay, check this out. This is a brilliant example of that first step, guide the AI. On the left, a really simple prompt, business meeting. And what do we get? A generic, kind of soulless stock photo, the most probable, average result. But on the right, we add just a tiny bit of guidance, buy Van Gogh. And boom, the probabilities completely shift, and we get a unique, stylized, and incredibly specific result. That's guidance in action.
Now for our second tool, show, don't tell. There's a technical name for this. It's called few-shot prompting, and it is one of the most powerful ways to improve quality. Instead of just describing what you want, you actually provide a few examples, or shots, of the task done perfectly. So, for instance, rather than just asking for a summary, you could give it 2 or 3 examples of summaries written in the exact witty, concise style you're after. You're literally showing the AI your standard for quality.
And finally, our third tool, build an assembly line. Look, there's a huge temptation to create one giant mega prompt that asks the AI to do 10 things at once. We've all tried it. But here's the thing. When a prompt gets too long and complex, the AI's attention gets divided, and the quality almost always drops. The professional approach is to break it down. One prompt, one task. That gives you high quality, step by step. Remember, your first prompt is rarely your last. Think of this as a conversation where you refine the output with each turn.
Now, when you start putting all of this together, it becomes way more than just a new way to write prompts. It's really a completely new way to approach the whole creative process itself. And that's because this isn't about letting a machine think for you. Not at all. The real goal here isn't to replace human creativity, but to remove that awful blank page paralysis. You know the feeling. This is a tool to help you get the good stuff out of your head and into the world faster. It's a collaborator that you just need to brief properly.
So let's just recap the crucial point here, this mindset shift. You are moving from being a passive user who's just hoping for a good result to an active architect who is engineering a desired outcome. You're moving from looking for magic words you saw on the internet to applying durable principles that will work on any model. And you're moving from arguing with a robot to collaborating with an incredibly powerful tool.
This is the new way of working with AI. Not by guessing, but by engineering. You have the mental model, you have the core principles, and now you have the right mindset. So now that you're an architect, what will you create? I'm excited to see what you build. Thanks for joining this explainer.